हरिशरणम। यत् करोषि यदश्नासि यज्जुहोषि ददासि यत् तपस्यसि कौन्तेय तत्कुरुषु मदर्पणम्। O Lord, like all the acts, I dedicate this act also to you. Today we will talk about how to develop your total personality. What is a personality? Each one of you is a person, isn't it? An individual. And each of you has a different personality. What is a personality? You talk in a particular way, you sit in a particular way, you look all different. But these are not the essential parts of your personality, though they also are a part of your personality. Take for instance Prince. He remains entirely quiet all the time, but he runs very fast. There is Karuna, who plays the dholak very well, which none of you can, at least at the moment. Then there is Vandana, there is Kriti. They can dance very well, which not most of you can. Therefore, each of you has an individuality. God has given you special seeds of some talents in you. Those special seeds of talents have to be nurtured and ensured that they grow well. Your potential attains fruition. If you are a musician made by God, then we should help you to become a good musician. But those are individual traits, individual talents. But all of you have something in common too. Therefore, the psychologists and thinkers say that there are three primary dimensions, broad dimensions of your personality. They call in technical terms knowing, feeling and willing. Knowledge, emotions and actions. You have to perfect all the three dimensions. It is not necessary that you should balance all these three dimensions equally, but you should bring each of them to a particular level, basic level, beyond which you should emphasize or work for developing your special traits, say knowledge or feelings or actions. If all the three elements of your personality are taken care of, then we can broadly say that your personality has been developed in totality. These days what happens under the modern system of education, mass education, is that the system develops basically your knowledge part. It doesn't properly develop your feelings and emotions. It doesn't properly address your willing part or the action part. In this Gurukul, we are going to address all three dimensions of your personality to make you a balanced and well-developed personality in totality. You know, there are many instruments, musical instruments, which have only one string. But there are multi-stringed instruments also. Santoor, for example, sitar, veena, all these have multiple strings. You are like a multi-stringed instrument. A musician playing sitar or a guitar, which are multi-stringed instruments. If he or she doesn't know how to handle all the strings together, he or she cannot produce good music. He or she can only produce noise out of it, which will find few listeners. Similarly, you have to learn to handle and touch properly all these three broad elements or strings of your personality. Now let's come to the string or dimensions of knowledge. Knowledge has broadly two parts which you must develop. One is the information part flowing into your mind through your ears or eyes or other sense organs. But information is not complete knowledge. The other part of knowledge is development of your cognitive functions. For instance, all of you listen to my discourse every day. You are getting lots of information from me, but your minds are different. Your cognitive abilities are different. You have to process this information, and this is what I am calling or is called cognitive abilities. Not all of you understand equally what I say or anybody says, and even if you understand, not everybody is able to critically think. Thinking critically is a cognitive function. We have to develop this cognitive function of critical thinking or analytical reasoning. Today, a lot of information flows into your mind when you go to a classroom. Geography, history, biology, science, space science, religion, spirituality. But you generally accept that as true, as authentic, which may or may not be. It applies almost everywhere. Science, you accept as true what the scientist says. For children, it's good enough to initially believe in those things. In religion, whatever is told, you believe that. You believe in many superstitions also. Somebody tells you that if a cat crosses your path, this is a bad omen. Something bad is going to happen, and you accept that. This is an information given to you by your family members or other people in the society. It's a conventional belief, but not everybody will accept it. And I say that you should not accept it just like that. You should apply your mind to it. You should empirically verify it. Say, you should make a record of all the instances when a cat crossed your path and find out if something bad happened or not. You may find that out of 10 times, 9 times nothing happened bad. Even if the cat had not crossed your path, the result could have been similar. Therefore, one part of knowledge is information, and the other part is your cognitive response to it, your cognitive functions. This aspect is not taken care of by education today, generally speaking, and this is what we must address in the Gurukul also. Knowledge is very important, not only for you or for engineers or for scientists. It is important for everybody. Say, a carpenter, a cook, a chef. We ate idlis day before yesterday, and we found that it was not very good, not well prepared, not well cooked. This happened because the person cooking idlis didn't have the knowledge of how to cook it properly, isn't it? If he knew better how to process the whole food cooked, what spices to put into it, and how much to cook, then this knowledge could have helped her or him cook it better. So, a chef or a housewife with a good deal of knowledge of cooking will cook much better. So, it always affects your emotions and your actions, how well you act. So, knowledge is very important for everybody in every field. A washerman needs knowledge how to clean clothes properly, especially white clothes. Now, even if you know things very well and yet you do not act well, that's another problem. So, we come to the second dimension of your personality, which you ought to develop, is your feelings. As I said, the current education system worldwide, I am saying, generally speaking, barring a few exceptions, doesn't focus on your emotional development. You become very knowledgeable in terms of information available with you, but you don't experience the feelings that you ought to experience as a human being. Why so? Because you have not undergone any such training, even for a few minutes or hours, to identify your emotions and to manipulate your emotions, to modify your emotions. This is broadly called emotional literacy. You are illiterate emotionally. Illiterate. What's the meaning of literacy? You know A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, up to Z. If you know that and you can write the letters, you are a literate person. Not a scholar, but a literate person. Just literate. But have you ever been told, or have you ever thought, if you know the names of all the positive and negative emotions, or most of them? You do not. Can you tell me, Manisha, the names of some of the positive emotions? Can you tell? Okay, good enough. Can you tell, Anshul, a few negative emotions? Okay, good. But there are only a few of them. There are many more. You should know the names of most of the negative emotions and most of the positive emotions. And you should also know what is their impact on your mind, your actions, and your personality. If you are a person in whom positive emotions predominate, then you are a good person, pleasant person, you are a positive person. But if you are always bothered or swamped by negative emotions like anger, jealousy, and similar others, then people will find, and you will find, that you are a negative person, not a pleasant person, and probably you are not a happy person also. If you have mostly positive emotions, then you are a happier person. If you have too many negative emotions in you, then you are always unhappy. So you lose your happiness because you are not emotionally literate. Therefore, we have to identify all emotions that we experience, negative and positive both. And then, having done that, we should also learn how to control or bring to minimum level the negative emotions, our fear, our anger, our jealousies, and to learn how to bring to a higher level our positive emotions, faith, friendship, joy, trust, friendliness, helpfulness, and all such positive emotions. Say there is a dog nearby. Usually you pick up a stone and throw at the dog. The dog gets hurt and producing painful expressions, it goes away. You don't understand or you don't feel the pain of that dog. You think the dog feels no pains, or even if it does, how does it matter? You find a mosquito somewhere and you simply kill the fellow. Why do you take the life of a sentient being without any great harm caused by him or it? This is because you are insensitive. You don't have the emotion of pity or compassion towards animals or insects. I don't say you leave them free to spoil your life, to spoil your farms. No, not that. You protect your farm from the invasion of unwanted animals, but that can be done in alternative other ways also without hurting them unnecessarily. Have compassion for them. Have compassion for every human being. Not that you should not stop them from harming you. No, not that. You can find ways of doing that. Don't hate them. Have compassion and apply your mind how to stop them from harming you. That's fine. There was a poor man, old man, sitting right outside the ashram day before yesterday. He looked in tattered clothes, very old. Did you find out who was he and why was he sitting there? Did you feel anything inside? Did you feel anything in your heart? Any compassion in your heart? If you felt, then you would go to him and ask him, did he have his food? Actually, somebody went to him, I learned later on, and asked him for the food and gave him the food. That was compassion on the part of the child who did it. But all of you must experience the pain of others, the problem of others. That is emotional development. And not only that, emotions are the most fundamental things that you possess. A computer possesses lots of knowledge, much more than you. Artificial intelligence possesses much more knowledge than you do, doesn't it? But it doesn't have emotions. So reason, you will find that AI can reason very well, probably better than most of us. But it doesn't have any emotions. In fact, once I was trying to find out what AI or artificial intelligence could do. It could write a very good poem on the Bhagavad Gita. Then I thanked it that you're really remarkable, very creative, very good. Thanks to you. And it came back to me and said, I'm a machine. I don't have any emotions. I said, okay, I understand that you don't have emotions, yet I thank you for doing that. You are amazing, very creative, very knowledgeable. Therefore, it is emotions that distinguish you from the machine, from the computer, from the robot, on the one hand. On the other hand, you are also distinguished by this dimension of feeling and emotions from animals. They also have lots of feelings, you know it very well. But you have those emotions in a more unlimited manner. And you have some emotions which animals don't have. For example, when India wins the Cricket World Cup, or your country wins the Cricket World Cup, can any animal living in India or that country feel so elated? Arey, hum jeet gaye, yes, we won. Could he do like that? They don't, because they don't understand what is the feeling of patriotism. So the emotion of patriotism is peculiar to humans. Therefore, you have to understand the dynamics of emotions and make yourself emotionally better human beings. Now, the third thing is what's called by psychologists will. The will to act. Let's simplify the whole thing by saying actions. You act. Now, you have to learn this part also, because if you have feelings, if you have thoughts, and they do not culminate into actions, then they make little sense. You may understand that you have the potential of becoming a great musician. You have the information because people have told you that you play very well, sitar or guitar, whatever. So you know that this information is available with you, and then you also feel that how good it could be if you became a great musician known by the entire world. So the feelings are there with you, the knowledge is there with you, but you are not acting, you are not practicing enough. It's not culminating into actions. Unless you act, your emotions and knowledge won't make much sense. Therefore, we have to develop ourselves in a manner that takes care of both your knowledge and feelings and emotions as well as your actions. Then it would be called total personality development.